The public fight for his political life began during an emergency debate of the Scottish Parliament. The country's Justice Minister attempted to fend off his critics, defending his decision to release Abdelbasit Ali al-Megrahi, the bomber convicted of Britain's worst terrorist atrocity.
The guidance makes it clear that all prisoners, irrespective of sentence length, are eligible to be considered for compassionate release. Having therefore met the criteria, it therefore fell to me to decide whether Mr al-Megrahi should be released on compassionate grounds. I was conscious that there are deeply held feelings and that many would disagree whatever my decision. However, a decision had to be made. It was a decision based on the law of Scotland and the values I believe that we seek to uphold. It was not based on political, diplomatic or economic considerations.
But Kenny McCaskill's statement soon turned into a cross-party slanging match.
But does he understand how much that decision has angered the silent majority in Scotland? Does he understand how ashamed we were to see our flag flying to welcome a convicted bomber?
Ask him to clarify how much advice and support he received from the First Minister in his damaging and disgraceful mishandling of the release of Mr al-Megrahi.
Given that the media knew about this decision a week before those families, will there be a full leak inquiry into this appalling error?
Did the First Minister or the Cabinet Secretary feel at any stage that because of their naivety and inexperience in international affairs, they were being stitched up and used as pawns in a much bigger international game?
He still stood firm on his decision.
But as I said at the outset, this was my decision and my decision alone. And I repeat, Presiding Officer, I made that decision, I stand by it, and I face the consequences.
Gordon Brown's role is also under scrutiny. He claims when he met the Libyan leader, Colonel Gaddafi, last month, the issue of Megrahi's release was raised and he said it was a Scottish decision. His silence has infuriated ministers looking for clarification of the government's stand.
Equally disturbing is the extraordinary and incomprehensible silence of the Prime Minister, Gordon Brown.
I cannot comment or state what did or did not take place, whether it was between Lord Mandelson, Gordon Brown or Tony Blair. I acted, as I said, without the consideration of political, economic or diplomatic considerations.
There's no question in Martin Cadman's mind that Megrahi should have been released. He lost his son in the Lockerbie bombing and believes McCaskill made a brave decision.
I think he had a difficult job to do, and having seen him, I found his explanations entirely sensible, not just credible, but sensible.
Critics point to televised scenes of Scottish flags waving in the arrival of a convicted bomber as bringing disgrace to Scotland and the UK. But the US in particular has been most vocal in denouncing Megrahi's release, with the head of the FBI lamenting the decision gives comfort to terrorists around the world. It's a decision that could have far-reaching implications, not only for the future of the Scottish Government, but also for the entire country.